Olsen. We'll be back at the end to do questions. So I said, if you have any questions, use the chat system below. So I'm going to hand you over to Kerry from Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, who's going to give you a little bit of an update of everything Fred Olsen for this summer.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Well, a very good morning to everybody. So like Trevor said, I'm Kerry from Fred Olsen, and we are going to be talking about our 2021 departures. So some departures for this summer and the more exciting departures from Dover as well. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all so that you can see a presentation that I've put together for you. So I'm hoping you're all able to see that. So what we're going to run through today is what's special about Belletta. So Belletta is one of our new ships, and she's our flagship that's going to be having her first departures out of Dover in August. We've got a sneak peek at getting her ready. Some of you may have been on some previous Zoom calls that we've done a couple of weeks ago. We've got some updated images of around the ship and some more progress of what we've been doing. Reasons to cruise with us. Maybe you've never cruised before, maybe you've never cruised with Fred before, maybe you've never done a cruise that's not done any stops before. So there's lots of new things to talk about. New cruises, our welcome back cruises, of course, cruising around the UK, but we also do have some regional departures from Dover this summer that are cruising elsewhere, so more European destinations also for this summer. So lots to be very excited about. So first of all, let's have a little look at Belletta. So Belletta is one of our new ships. She has a capacity of 1,338 guests, but rest assured, she is still a Fred Olsen ship. She is still small enough to be able to get to places that other big ships simply can't get to. And being a slightly larger ship than what we had previously, there is going to be a lot of social distancing on board our ship. And the reason for that is because there's so much more space to be able to do so. Not that we hope to be still social distancing when our cruises set sail in August, but the fact that the ship is much larger, you can just have lots more space to yourself on board the ship if you wish to do so. So we've got 7 restaurants, we've got 8 bars and lounges, we've got a show lounge, we've got 2 swimming pools, we've got jacuzzis, fitness centres, spas, hairdressers, salons. There's so much to keep you entertained on board our ships whilst you're cruising and scenic cruising and sea days where you're not getting off the ship. The great advantage with our new ships, Belletta and also Borealis, is that they're actually faster. So you can go to destinations that might be slightly further away in a shorter amount of time because they have a average speeding knots of just short of 25 knots. And also then when we get into cruising 2022 and we're heading down to the Med and further afield, you can get there a lot quicker and back again. So just a sneak peek of what we've been doing to the ship. So the ships are still up in Rosyth at the moment in Scotland. We've recently taken delivery of some new carpets. They were slightly delayed because they were on a cargo ship that was stuck in the Suez Canal. So we eventually got our carpets, and our girls and guys are up in Scotland fitting the carpets as we speak. So just to give you an idea on some of the colour themes, what we've actually been doing to these new ships since we bought them last summer, we've been changing the decor, the carpets, the soft furnishings, reupholstering pretty much everything and making it very much a Fred Olsen ship. The Fred Olsen Junior is very much involved in all aspects of the business, and he's even designed some of the carpets that we've got going on board at the moment. So just to give you some ideas of what it's going to look like, this is the Oriental room. Both you've got images here of Borealis, and at the bottom is Belletta, and it's Belletta that's going to be cruising in and out of Dover. If you look at the middle picture down at the bottom, you can see how spacious it is. So there's lots of room to relax and move around the ship. So like I said, the girls and guys are very busy laying carpets, underlays, fixing things, making it sure that it's absolutely perfect when we are ready to set sail later on this summer in August. So this will give you an idea of what some of the rooms that are ready to go on board. So this is the piano bar, as you can see here. So we've upholstered the sofas, the cushions, the chairs, the carpets, and had a great makeover. And of course, we've upgraded the cabins. We've made the cabins very much a Fred Olsen cabin. So if you have cruised with us before, all the facilities and amenities that you would have found inside your cabins previously, such as tea and coffee making facilities, it's going to be replicated across the new ships. So this will give you an idea of the colour schemes. They very much look like the cabins on board Balmoral and also Braemar. So they've been extremely busy, making sure that everything is going to be perfect to welcome you on board. So why choose a Fred Olsen cruise? Well, first of all, our ships are smaller. They're smaller than the mainstream ships. So that means we can take you to places, we can get you closer to the coastline, and that's going to be very apparent even later this summer when we're cruising around the UK. And when we're able to go further afield, we can get under bridges, we can go up and down canals that big ships can't get to, and of course we can dock in more central locations around the world. So our UK departure ports are, as you can see on the screen here, do include Tilbury, Dover, Portsmouth and Southampton. But just for the purpose of this presentation, we're just mainly going to be talking about the Dover departures that we've got coming up in August and September later this year. So reasons to cruise closer to home, as well as longer voyages and a range of worldwide destinations, our new cruise itineraries offer more possibilities for cruising around the British Isles or to take a little closer of our home waters. So for those of you that are looking to dip your toes back into the water, there are plenty of opportunities to jump on board. And with all the usual ingredients of a Fred Olsen cruise, including sea days, scenic cruising and interesting ports of call. So we have won lots of awards, particularly over the last year as well. So if you're new to Fred Olsen, we have over 170 years of maritime experience. We have weathered our fair share of storms, and we're proud of the awards that we've won, and in particular the awards that we've won, particularly over the last 12 months when we haven't been sailing. So we are a 5th generation family run business, and it's our heritage and our experience that we feel that sets us apart from the other cruise lines out there. And that's why we have the highest number of repeat passengers in the whole of the UK cruise market, and it's increasing all the time. So we have won Cruise Critic for best itineraries for the last 5 years running. And we know that with smaller ships, we don't have the glitz and glams of ice skating rinks and climbing walls, but we know that our guests don't necessarily want that on board. So to stand out, we must make sure that our itineraries are spot on so we can take you to places that the big ships simply can't get to. And over the last 12 months, we've won so many awards for our customer service, particularly in the way that we handled cancellations over the last 12 months. And the majority of our guests have rebooked onto future cruises. So we're extremely pleased and that obviously we're still here to be able to take you cruising in the future, which is an amazing. So let's move on and look at Dover in particular. So we have Valletta coming round to us in August. It's our brand new flagship. We will have 8 departures for you out of Dover, which will include 1 maiden voyage, 3 scenic cruising. So that's cruises with no ports of call. So you'll jump on and off in Dover and that will be it. You'll go around the UK, but unfortunately you won't be able to stop. We've got 5 cruises with ports of call, so that means you can choose an itinerary where you will be able to get off the ships and have a look around in ports. We've got 4 UK cruises and we've got 4 European cruises. So there's lots of choice depending on which sort of itinerary you're looking and interested in. So the main reason with the scenic cruising is that we will be able to explore the waters, inlets and wonderful sites around our home waters. I mean, some of us have probably been on holidays all over the world, yet never really explored what we have on our own doorstep. And with these cruises, we can do exactly that. We'll take you up to Scotland, we'll take you around to the Cornish coastline, we'll take you all the way around the UK. So some of these fantastic sites are right on our doorstep that, like I said, we've probably never been to before. And of course, taking in the beautiful scenery and nature and wildlife. So being on a smaller ship, we can hug that coastline a little bit closer. We will have lecturers on board telling you about the wildlife on board, telling you about all the things to look out for around our British Isles. So we've teamed up with Orca, which is the Wildlife Charity Fund. They will be on a number of our UK cruises. So they'll be on the lookout throughout the day and nighttime for particularly sea wildlife, but of course whales and dolphins, but they'll also be looking out for bird wildlife, and they'll have lectures on board, and they'll be making announcements throughout their cruise if they see anything of interest. So it's great that we've teamed up with Orca. We have had them on board some of our previous cruising itineraries, and it's been very, very popular with our guests. So we've invited them back to spend the summer with us on board. So let's move on and look at Belletta's maiden voyage. So her maiden voyage is going to be on the 16th of August. I can't forget that date because it's a maiden voyage, but it's also my brother's birthday. It's a 3-night departure from Dover, and it's going to be doing a scenic cruise to the Isles of Scilly and of course around the Channel Islands before returning back to Dover. Now it's a great opportunity to actually jump on board the very first maiden voyage of Belletta. So it's in the summertime, it's in August, there's going to be plenty of hours of stunning scenic cruising. You will be able to get close to the Isles of Scilly and cruise the coastline of the Channel Islands and around the south coast. So prices start at £499 per person, and there is £50 on board spending credit if you want to use that towards your drinks, anything in the salons, any specialty dining, anything from the shops, etc. So it's a great opportunity to jump on board the new ship, have a look around, experience it for a short period of 3 nights. It's going to be a very magical, bit of a celebration cruise, I think, because A, we're back in the water, and B, it's a brand new cruise for us. And we can't wait to welcome back our regular guests as well as first timers to Fred Olsen. So let's move on and look at some of the other cruises that we've got. So this is a 5-night cruise. It's also a scenic cruise, so no ports of call to be able to get off the ship, but we are going to be doing a lot of scenic cruising up and around Scotland, and particularly some of the isles and the smaller inlets. So this one is 5 nights on the 19th of August, so it just follows on after the maiden voyage, and it starts at £699 per person with £100 on board spending credit. There's going to be lots of things to see around here. So you can go in search of the seabirds, the orcas, and of course, even some of the sea stacks and the heads and all of those sorts of things, the needles all around the Scottish Highlands. Then we have a touring scenic Orkneys and Shetlands cruise. So this is a 5-night cruise going up to Lerwick and Kirkwall. So you will be able to get off the ship here in Lerwick and Kirkwall and enjoy some of the ports of call. 24th of August, so towards the end of August, and that starts at £799 per person with also £100 on board spending credit. So you will be able to visit quite remote islands. Some of you may have certainly been to Scotland before, but may not have experienced some of the islands. So it's going up to see some of the remote islands in Scotland, such as Kirkwall and Lerwick. This one has become an extremely popular cruise. It's a 5-night cruise from Dover, and it's on the 29th of August. So it's over the bank holiday weekend. Prices start at £2,499, and it really is visiting the islands of the UK. So you will be able to visit the St Mary's, the Isles of Scilly, and you will be getting off the ship there. Then you'll be going to places like Cobh and Belfast with an overnight stay, Douglas on the Isle of Man. You've got Kirkwall, Stornoway, and again, you've got lots of scenic cruising, the Dutchman's Cap, Fingal's Cave, the Sound of Mull. So it's a really, really popular itinerary. So there's not many cabins left. So what I would advise, if you want this particular itinerary, then you need to act pretty quick to get on board. And because it is a scenic islands cruise. So, I mean, me personally, I've been around the world numerous times with Fred Olsen. I've never been to the Isles of Scilly, never been to the Isle of Man. So it is a great itinerary to get to some of these islands that we may have never visited previously. Slightly further afield. So let's look at some departures later on in the summer. So we've got the 11th of September. It's a 10-night departure from Dover. So you'll be going up to see the Swedish waterways, and there is also an opportunity to stay in Copenhagen. So this is a great itinerary. It's going to be scenic cruising, but also ports of call. And again, this one starts at £1,399 per person with a free drinks package or an onboard spending credit. So you've got an either or option on this particular voyage. So it's a great itinerary up to Sweden with Denmark. We also have a departure on the 21st of September, leading from Dover, going down to the Mediterranean, so a bit of warmer sunshine. And this is a 14-night cruise, and it starts at 1899, also with the free drinks package, or 250 on board spend. So you'll be stopping at places like Cartagena, Motril, Cadiz, Mahon in Menorca, and various other places around the Spanish coastline. We also have an uncrowded Baltic cruise. So this one's going up to St. Petersburg. It's going on the 5th of October. So hopefully this will be a time when there won't be as many tourists in the city. So you will be able to go around and experience the cathedrals, the museums, the art galleries at your own pace. So it's not going to be as crowded as you would have may have visited St. Petersburg in the height of summer of July and August. So you've got an overnight stay in St. Petersburg, which again will allow you plenty of opportunities to go and see the ballet, go and do the canals by night tour. You've also got ports of call Helsinki, Tallinn, Riga. Tallinn and Riga are absolutely amazing ports of call in their own right. Oslo and also Copenhagen. Now there are great solo offers available. So if you are a solo traveller, we do have lots of solo offers on many of our cruises. This one in particular has some great solo offers available. And we've also got a 15-night cruise escaping down to the Canary Islands on the 18th of October, also setting sail from Dover. So it's doing a couple of ports of call on the way down off the coast of Spain and Portugal. So we've got La Coruña, Lisbon, before arriving in Lanzarote, Gran Canaria, Tenerife, La Gomera, La Palma, Madeira, before returning back to Dover. So it's a great time of year to head down to some warmer sunshine. So they are our departures out of Dover. Now, obviously, with the green list, that's probably going to be some of your questions that you may have. We also do have a very exciting departure out of Liverpool. I am going to mention it anyway, and it's going up to Iceland, which we know, of course, is guaranteed to be on the green list. Now, that departure is going in August, so it's in a fantastic itinerary heading up and doing a circumnavigation of Iceland. However, it is departing from Liverpool. So if you can get yourself up to Liverpool and you want to go and experience all that Iceland has to offer, then it's a great opportunity. So we do have a digital brochure, and the Baldwin shops also do have printed copies of this brochure. If you need to get your hands on some copies, let myself or Baldwin's know at the end of this call, and we can certainly send you some brochures out that highlight some of the, or all of the 2021 departures, and also touches on some of the 2022 departures. So if you just want a little bit more information about any of these itineraries, then you, of course, just let us know. We also have the Fred Olsen's Enjoyment Promise. So this applies to all our guests, regardless if you've cruised with us before or not. Come on board a Fred Olsen cruise. If you're not enjoying your time, then all you have to do is let us know within 48 hours, and we can give you a full refund for your cruise and take you off the ship and send you home at our cost if you're not enjoying your cruise within the 48 hours of being on board. So this is a great opportunity, particularly for those of you that may have never cruised before or never set foot on a Fred Olsen ship before. Or even if you have been on a Fred Olsen ship and you used to love Boudica, you used to love Blackwatch, then it's a great offer as well to coming on board and experiencing our brand new ship. So it's called the Enjoyment Promise. So if for any reason you're not enjoying yourself within the first 48 hours, all you have to do is let us know. We'll refund you the full cost of your fare, and we'll be covering the cost to send you home from the first available port of call. The all-inclusive drinks package. So some of the cruises we've got free drinks or an onboard spend, depending on what you prefer. Some of them just have an onboard spending credit. So if you'd like to purchase the all-inclusive drinks package as an added extra on your cruise, it costs £19 per person per night. So that means you can simply get off of your cruise knowing that you don't have an enormous bar bill or anything like that. If you are choosing some of the cruises that are 5 nights or less, then the all-inclusive drinks package is £35 per person per night. If any of you are still out there sitting on some future cruise credits and future cruise vouchers, we can certainly use these against your new 2021 cruise. You don't have to make a rush decision, but obviously now there are quite limited itineraries on the green list that the government have announced for the first phase. Then of course we are expecting, and we've already seen, that a lot of these bookings on our UK departures are booking up. So if you are interested in any of these, then my recommendation would be try to act sooner rather than later, just simply to avoid any disappointment further down the line for you. We've updated our plain sailing guarantee as well. So this basically means that if you do book a cruise and then you should later cancel it, and this particularly is important for 2021 departures, if you're booking a cruise now and paying a deposit, and then you'd actually change your mind, as long as you let us know by the final balance due date, which is 12 weeks prior to departure, then you can actually cancel that cruise and get a full refund if you wish to do so on your deposit, or simply transfer that over to another cruise. So that's for all 2021 departures. For 2022, that's slightly different. If you are booking a cruise and then change your mind before the final balance is due date, you can only transfer that deposit. You can't get a full refund on that deposit. So the full refund only applies to 2021 departures. So if you're booking now, particularly towards the end of the year or 12 weeks out, and should your personal circumstances change, or some of the itineraries change, or the green light destinations change, anything like that, then we will be able to give you a full refund as long as it's done more than 12 weeks in advance. So that just sums up Dover in a quick snapshot. Of course, once Boletta has finished cruising out of Dover, she'll then continue round and cruise out of Southampton for the remainder of the year, and then into 2022. So of course, I know if you are living in the southeast, Southampton and Portsmouth as well, not a million miles away. So if you did want something maybe further on in the year, October, November, December, January, February time, then we will of course have departures out of Portsmouth and Southampton. And then when it comes to 2022, we'll of course be back to Dover with Boletta, but we'll also be having departures out to Tilbury, which is also very exciting. So I hope that's been interesting. Hope it's been beneficial for you. Like Trevor said, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask us now, put it in the chat, and we'll happily answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. That was really good, and interesting summer ahead for all of us, and you know, getting back to hopefully feeling some sort of normality and everything, and getting away, and a great way to do it as well, and comfortable. And you know, I love cruising, as a lot of you guys do as well, and you know, so absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting on one myself, hopefully.
Me too.
I know. So do we have any questions? If you haven't used the chat, if you want to ask a question, just give us a wave or unmute yourself and shout. And so any questions at all? No, I think you've done a fantastic job, Kerry. You've answered everything.
I hope so.
which is absolutely fantastic. So we won't hold anybody up. Oh, hang on, we got Alan is waving. Alan?
Yeah, my chat's not working.
Your chat's not working. Do you want to ask a question?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
The
cool.
Scenic Islands of Britain tour, isn't that 13 nights, not 5?
Hold on. Do you know, you might be right actually, because when I was reading that out, I did question it in my mind. The T2128. 1 second, let me just double check. Yeah, you're right. It's 13 nights. My apologies. Yes.
Yeah, we're booked.
That.
Yeah, we are booked on that one. I just
fantastic.
and the other question I've got we're going to Cobb in Southern Ireland.
Yeah.
Is that still open, or do we not know yet?
At the moment it's not, but should the itinerary change and we can't visit, then we'll try our very best to put another port of call in. So I think with the remainder of this year particularly, I think we just have to be as flexible as we need to be. So should these destinations be not available to us and our passengers on board, then of course we will do our utmost to make sure that the itineraries will go as close as advertised. So we might just have to change a couple of ports around, but you'll still have an amazing time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
No problem at all, Alan.
I was going to say, I think the good thing is with having announcements now every 3 weeks, which the government has said with the traffic light system, I think there'll be plenty of notice for any changes and everything. So we're going to get an update every 3 weeks on the traffic light system. And I mean, I think we're all expecting to see more places be added to the list as they get on with their vaccine rollouts and everything. And I mean, I would expect to see Southern Ireland going in there, because obviously you've got the I don't know what the situation is if you live in Northern Ireland going to Southern Ireland with the sort of like the no travel. So I would have thought they were going to want to at least get that opened up, which means they'd have to open up for the UK unless they're making special dispensations for Northern Ireland. So I would think Ireland is going to be one of the earlier ones, hopefully, to go on there. So with a bit like that won't be affected, but we'll get plenty of notice on things like that.
Okay.
Oh, we got a question come in. Let me oh, we've got a test question. Okay, was that you, Trish?
What question?
I've got a question coming in. Just says test.
Testing because message in the chat, and I had another client email me saying she couldn't message in the chat. So just wanted to see whether it was working.
I think if you're on tablets or iPads or things, you don't get all the features that Zoom has. So possibly it's the ones that are on iPads and things like that that struggle to get those things. I think they're on there somewhere, but I think you have to go hunting for it. So that's fine. I think that's everything. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes left. So, Kerry, is there anything else you want to just quickly mention, moving on, looking further ahead to getting a bit more exotic? What's that looking like for sort of like maybe not latter this year, but into 22 for some of the tropical stuff that I know people love doing with you?
Yeah, so we've obviously got some departures already on sale. Mainly, I'll be honest, it's probably European destinations that are a little bit closer to home, down to the Canaries, those sorts of things. So we obviously still operating with 3 ships for this winter going into the beginning of next year. So we've got various itineraries on offer there. But what I was also just about to mention is what was I going to mention? The fact that Caribbean particularly is going to come back for 2022, 2023 with our fly cruises, and obviously the fly cruises operating in and out of Gatwick. So that's going to be for the winter of 2022, 2023. But at the moment with our bookings, we're seeing a lot of bookings for this year, but also very much for next year, and also 2023, particularly our world cruise in 2023 is just selling like hotcakes at the moment. So someone just mentioned, does the Iceland cruise have ports of call, and if so, how many? Absolutely, yes, it does. Give me 2 seconds and I'll tell you. I can actually share my screen with you and show you that exact cruise. 2 seconds, because it's again been a very, very popular cruise, particularly in the last week once it went on the green list. So 2 seconds and I will find it for you. Oh, here we go, Iceland. Okay, so if I quickly share my screen with you, is that it? Can you see Iceland?
We can, yes.
Yeah, okay. So is this particular cruise here, Liverpool departure Borealis, which is one of our other new ships, 14th of August 2021 for 9 nights. It starts at 1599.
I've got 12 minutes. Right.
And the itinerary is doing Reykjavik with a port of call, Isafjorda, Akureyri, and another port I probably shouldn't pronounce because I don't know how to. So you've got 4 ports of call that you will be able to get off the ship and do lots of exciting shore excursions on offer. You can go and see the waterfalls, the geysers, the Blue Lagoon, all sorts of things available on that particular itinerary for you. So it is selling quick because obviously it's on the green list. We've got a free drinks package or £125 onboard spending credit. So this is the itinerary here. Fantastic itinerary. So much to see and do in and around Iceland. And if you just want an idea on cabins and prices, interior start at 1599, outsides, balconies and suites still available but selling pretty quickly, and solo prices at 2899.
Kerry,
So I hope that answers your question on that one. Yeah.
Kerry, with that one, do you know, because obviously Liverpool's not just down the road like Dover is, with Dover's nice and easy.
Yeah.
What time does it sail, and what would the latest embarkation be? Or would you be advising that we arrange a hotel in Liverpool around the port? Because thinking that it's probably the Hitachi trains that go up there.
Yeah, no worries. So normally our sailing time is going to be obviously 4:30, so you need to be there at least 2 hours before. But because of social distancing and everybody needs to be tested at the port before they can go on board the ship, with a negative lateral flow test that you will be able to do at the port with us. So obviously embarkation's going to take longer. So we haven't finalised the departure times, but I would expect it to be quite considerably later departure, if I'm honest with you, although that's not been confirmed, because obviously we need to make sure that everybody coming on board has a negative test, and that's going to take some time to do. They normally take about half an hour to do the test. So you do the test at the port, you'd have to wait half an hour before you get your results before being able to go on board the ship. So that's going to be an added extra into embarkation.
Yeah.
So my advice, sorry?
Do you have parking up there?
There is parking, absolutely, and there's hotels dead opposite the port as well. So my advice, of course, I would probably leave extremely early in the morning or go up and stay the night before, and then you're not worrying. That would be my advice if I was going up.
We've got our less than a minute countdown, so I'm going to thank everybody for joining us. Thank Kerry for joining us today. Thank Patricia for organising it. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you all very, very soon, either in one of the shops or on board with a nice cocktail in your hand. So from all of us, thank you very much. Cheerio.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.